What's going on, everyone? Today is November 29th. It is your Wednesday midweek review. It's been a while since we've seen you. We did not have our live group call last Sunday. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving and the time off. Hopefully your studies inside and outside of the charts were well. Couple things before we get into it. So with regards to news going into the back half of this week, on Thursday, we have OPEC, red folder all day. We have 8:30 a.m. price indexes, which are month on month, and unemployment claims coming out at 8:30 also. We also have a Chicago PMI at 9:45 a.m., followed by a home sales at 10 a.m. That's basically a pretty jam-packed AM session for tomorrow. Friday, you have PMI 9:45 a.m., you have ISM manufacturings at 10, and then Powell speaks both at 11 and 2. So you have a pretty volatile back half of the week. Make sure that you're kind of watching where the markets are moving. Other than that, with regards to news, there's nothing on my end. Henry, do you have anything news related?
Nothing news related.
Okay. Other than that, one thing to note, tomorrow, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the prop firm Top Step. I'm going live on Top Step TV tomorrow at noon Eastern time, 11 a.m. Central Time. If you guys are familiar with it or you're not familiar with it, I will be going in there. I can't promise I'm going to take a trade, but I will be tape reading and kind of just getting to know Top Step admin, and then obviously they'll get to know me. We would love for you guys to hop in there. There is a chat, and if you subscribe to Top Step on YouTube, you can go ahead and go into the chat too. We'd love to see you guys in the chat, obviously for me, but then also for the company, and it obviously is for you too. You guys are the community also. So that'll be cool and exciting. If you guys have time tomorrow, noon Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, on Top Step TV on YouTube, I will be going live and kind of just giving my story, giving my background, explaining what firsthand trading is, and then also giving some live tape reading and potentially some trades. Other than that, that's it for me with regards to news, notification-wise, where we are kind of in a community-wise base. Henry, anything else you want to share?
Not much on my end. I hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving if you take part in that. I'm in a bit of a moving process right now, so not working from my usual desk space. Got kind of an empty room here with just a couple plants and things that haven't been packed up yet. But I'm excited to be with you all this week. Excited for the midweek review, and we'll go ahead and hop into the charts and get to it.
Alrighty, DXY. So it's been a while. I know. Hopefully, if you've been following, we have been delivering still in the areas that we thought we would. So we have been delivering lower on dollar. We have now pushed into this weekly order block, right, into this 102,500 level. Curious to see if
we hang on, Carson. I'm not seeing a screen share from you.
Okay, one second. Hold on. What about now?
There we go.
Okay, so let's start this from the beginning. DXY weekly. It's been a while since we've talked. We've been delivering on the targets that we thought we would be, or that we thought we would see. A couple things to note: we now have pulled into this weekly order block right here in and around the 102,500 level. So I'm curious to note if we get a little bit of a pullback, we have a weekly buy side or a sell side inefficiency, buy side imbalance here, and another one up here. Obviously not focused on the top one yet. This is the first one. So I want to see if we deliver there. We also have 103,445 being our equilibrium from the range that we've established this year. So I'm curious to see when we get there, we have obviously the SIBI and then that equilibrium, if we can use that as resistance and continue lower, or do we start to pull up a little higher into this area right here in around 104,500. Another thing that I would also note is this previous week's low, right? Super important to note previous day's highs, previous day's lows, previous week's highs, previous week's lows. So we have this previous week's low, and I'm curious to see if we push into that also. If we do decide to just keep going lower, 101,250, 101,300, and around this level is around the mean threshold of this order block, and there is a busy here. So if we still remain heavy-handed to the downside, I'm curious to know if we can potentially go there. Going in on a daily, right, you've got a daily SIBI right here, a little tiny volume imbalance right here, which is also tied to the previous week's low. Right, so you got previous week's low. price could pull up into that level. And if we've kind of established a range right now, and let's just say this low intermediately holds, right? Something to look out for is pushing up into the equilibrium, which is just above this, which also fills this tiny SIBI on the daily right here. So if price just decides to pull back up and retrace into at least this form of premium, we can expect price to trade in and around the 103, 10400 level. I'm not quite worried about this yet until we start to get above these levels with regards to closure. Then we could potentially pull higher into those weekly SIBIs that we talked about. And obviously we have this big daily BISI also with liquidity sitting at 104,200 and 104,600, give or take. Other than that, that's about it. Just note that we did tap into this weekly order block. I know we've been super bearish on dollar. You guys have seen it all kind of work its way, at least all the way from up here. So now if we start to get a little bit of a pullback, note that it's because of the fact that we tapped into the bullish order block on the weekly. We do have obviously a lot of lows and long wicks down here that we could continue to trade to, but with regards to the daily, there is no BISI here. That's why I'm expecting a potential pullback. Other than that, that's it for me. I'd love to see you guys on Top Step tomorrow. I will be looking in the chat to see if I know any names. Other than that, just ready to get right back into it. Henry, all you.
All right, sweet. Just let me know when my screen is sharing. Good?
You're good.
Okay, cool. So jumping right into ES, starting here on, I'll start on the monthly chart actually. So same thing we're looking for still on the monthly chart. No real premium erase between within this dealing range until we reach up to the buy side. So just keeping the eye right up here at 46.85 and a quarter on the monthly chart. Dropping down into the weekly. Let me make sure that translates. There we go. Dropping down to the weekly, you can see that we have continued to reach up toward this swing point right here before the buy side up here. We left just shy of that today, within 2 ticks, I think it was. So the high right here is 45.97 and a half, and today's high was 45.97. So just 2 ticks off that high, leaving pretty much equal highs just up there. So what does that mean? That means that it's engineering liquidity above these highs, because as you get a retracement off of there, more buy stops are being placed above here as retail assumes that this is a double top resistance to drop back down lower, right? So that's engineering liquidity, and then price can continue to run up back above buy side and purge all of that liquidity resting above there as we continue to reach up toward that monthly high up here. A couple of things to note just on the weekly chart here. So getting a bit closer. You can see as we've had the retracement today, we've started to work back down toward the high from the week of Monday, November 3rd. There is still a small gap existing in right here, so I can mark that out. If price trades all the way down to there, we could have an immediate rebalance and then continue to work up toward buy side. The only reason that I'm interested in this instead of immediately the weekly BISI down here is the fact that we had a pretty significant displacement away from this, right? If you'll see when we look at NASDAQ, we had a bit more of a candle closure back toward the range of the BISI. Here on ES, we extended a bit higher up, which creates a second PD array in between. NASDAQ, you'll see that we've already traded back into this into the wick of this candle, whereas on ES, we haven't reached that yet. So we could have the immediate rebalance here and then work up to our buy side, or if we do have a bit of a deeper retracement, then watching for this weekly BISI down here to trade before working back up into the highs. On the daily chart, only thing to note here really is that, so you can see this was the previous week's high right here, which was run out today, but note where price closed, right? We ran out the high, fell just short of buy side, and then closed back within the range. And you can see in here that throughout all of this action, that created the weekly BISI within this week. But throughout all of these daily candles, no new daily BISI was created. No new displacement is occurring off of this displacement, which is right here. See how price traded into the daily BISI and then worked higher, but no new daily BISI was created. So that's allowing for the weekly BISI to be created and then price to trade back down toward this area. So we'll see if we reach here or if we reach a bit deeper to here, but still overall the expectation is to trade at toward buy side. I'll go into NASDAQ really quickly. So you can see here on NASDAQ how we didn't get as strong of a candle body closure as we saw on ES, creating no separation between this candle's high and this candle here. So we're already trading inside the wick of that candle from 2 weeks ago. We could come down here now and trade back into that weekly BISI before reaching up to the buy side up here. Daily chart, same thing as we talked about on ES. We have this BISI on the daily chart right here, trading into it here on November 16th, and then working away from it, but not creating any new BISIs on the daily chart as it traded away. So all we're doing is creating that weekly candle before this week where we can trade down into the weekly BISI right here, and then work back up to buy side. So pretty simple there. Not really anything that can be seen to invalidate the buy side idea here until we get a much deeper retracement, right? So as long as price stays in this area, my eye is still focused on the buy side. I need to see price trade back below here before I have any interest in lower prices. That is it for me. Any last thoughts here, Carson?
No, I'm all good. Yeah, I got stopped out on a break even on a buy today, thinking that daily liquidity would get hit, and now we have the data to support that we probably won't necessarily reach up there. So we have reasons to believe that we could go a little bit lower. Other than that, I'm all good. I'm just happy to be back. Obviously, throughout the past couple days for Thanksgiving, wasn't really doing a whole lot. Took the time for myself to rest, catch up on all the things that I needed to outside of trading. So I'm just getting back in the swing of things. Getting back on the website, you guys see me posting again. And other than that, just please, if you guys can, swing in on Top Step TV tomorrow and check me out. I'd love to see you guys. And other than that, that's it for me. Hope everyone has a safe week trading both inside and outside of the markets. We've got a lot of news, a lot of opportunities potentially, and we'll see what happens. Time will tell.
Yep, sounds good for me. We'll see you all on Sunday, and take care, everyone.
See ya.